of, and Jamie's problem solving really needs some work when it comes to how to handle the media. 248-539-9797. All right, Tua. We'll get back to your phone calls in a minute, but there were kind of mixed reports. It's being called like the headlines say, Tua cleared for all football activity. Now, okay, all football activity implies quite a bit. Steve Weich of NFL Network reported the following. Tua Tagovailoa has his 4-month medical check last week and has resumed light football-related drills, such as dropping back and throwing, and low-impact running in preparation for the 2020 NFL Draft. When I see that, and the headlines were all football activity, that sounds to me like if Alabama had a game Saturday, he could play.
Oh, that doesn't sound like that to me at all.
I think when I hear all football activity, that includes playing the game of football. It's all football activity.
See, I would think, here's the way I take it. It means that he hasn't been able to do anything, and that right now he can start the process of getting back and start working out. You got to walk before you can run, man.
Well, his doctor, Dr. Lyle Kane, says he's ecstatic of the 4-month, this 4-month benchmark. His pro day is in 1 month, and then he's got one more scan after that. And that's like the final thing that will be available prior to the NFL draft. So his pro day comes about 2 weeks prior to the draft. I think the draft is April 23rd and his pro day is April 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, this is definitely good news. It's not bad news.
No, it's great news.
But does it embolden the Tua crowd? And as we get closer to this thing, and every hurdle gets cleared, no matter how big or small the hurdle is, can you see yourself changing and thinking that the name Tua should go on the card for the Lions? There was a big report from Schefter today why the Redskins truly are in play at 2.
Here we go.
Well, look, I mean, I'm just telling you what Adam Schefter was reporting. So they may not the only reason I brought it up was not to heckle you, but to say the Lions might not even get a chance at him as it stands right now. But the clean bills of health do one of two things. If not clear him for the Lions, clears him for somebody to trade up to 2 or somebody to trade up to 3. Either of which I will take as acceptable scenarios. But for me, it's not going to change much. I don't think I'm going to really feel comfortable with Tua's health prior to the draft under any circumstance, so I can't see myself changing.
Here's the real game of chicken with the draft on draft night is if you're Miami and you love Tua, or if you're the Chargers or Carolina and you love Tua, the game of chicken is, do I need to talk to Washington or do I need to talk to Detroit? Mm-hmm. Is Washington really considering this, or are they're just playing this game right now? Because I may not have to give up so much. I may have to give up a lot to move up to 3, but I'm not going to have to give up my soul to get to number 2.
Right.
So I think it'll be interesting as this plays out. And any trade for Tua, I imagine, is going to happen on the night. I don't think it's going to happen in advance. Although I suppose you could if you're going to trade up to number 2, if you're assuming that Cincinnati's going to take Joe Burrow at number 1.
If you're good with Burrow or Tua, and you can work out terms ahead of time, I think it could happen before.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lions are likely to trade out of 3 because there's too much uncertainty at 3. If the Lions are to trade out of 3, before the draft. If they trade out of 3, it'd be a draft day move.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, that feels like 99% sure. But in the case of Washington, that move could be done if you think as highly of Tua as you do Burrow. I mean, look, this morning on First Take, they asked the panel, raise your hand if Tua's healthy, that you'd rather have Tua than Burrow. And it was like 1.5 hands went up.
1.5.
Yeah, well, I can't remember who the reporter was, but she was kind of like, eh. It was Laura Rutledge, I think, or she was. Yeah, I know you do. So I'm sure you endorse that move. She's all yours, I guess. Anyway, so there are people out there that would rather have Tua than Burrow. And a year ago, that was a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not even sure Burrow was on anyone's draft board. He might have gone undrafted free agent round. A year later, he's going to go number 1. So it's, the bigger picture thinking is that Tua is a better quarterback. The long game, the entire timeline of their careers tell you Tua is a better quarterback. And yet the injury has obviously brought that under, as to whether you'd even draft him.
Well, I look at it another way as well with the success Burrow had his last year with a new system and perhaps the right coach in place for him. And that is for people that want to give up on their guy at quarterback because you didn't see a whole lot when he was a junior and it was his first year getting a chance to start. And you're like, I don't think he's nothing special. They can do quarterbacks can do special things once they get really comfortable with the system. Now, that didn't happen with either Michigan or Michigan State. We didn't see this tremendous growth from one year to the next with Brian Lewerke or with Shea Patterson, but it can happen. And it's a scary thought to think what can happen with Ohio State with Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean,
he was really good. How much better can he be?
If he keeps getting better, it's a problem.
Well, he can be a lot better, I guess that's my point.
He could be the next Shea Patterson or Brian Lewerke, where they just kind of were the same quarterback through their entire time.
At which point he'll only be the second quarterback taken in the 2021 draft.
Yeah. So you never know. There's heck. You think about quarterbacks that were supposed to be first rounders. You go back and look at early drafts. I'll give you 2 names that jump out. Brad Kaya. When the draft passed, 3 years ago, whatever it was, and the way too early 2018 NFL mock draft came out, the number 1 pick was Brad Kaya. Didn't the Lions get him in the 7th round?
Yeah.
Last year, name that was in the first round, top 20, Nate Stanley, quarterback Iowa. He's a mid-round pick now. So things can go south, too.
I'll give you one from a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was Jake Locker from Washington.
Yep.
Everybody was raving about this guy. Oh, wait till he comes back for senior year. He's going to be the best.
Where did he end up going?
I don't even remember.
I thought he actually went pretty high, but it turned out to be kind of a disappointment. But he went 8th overall, so he still went in the first round. But 248-539-9797. Things can change, and in Tua's case, it's injury related. But does this embolden the Tua crowd?